What's up, Nerd Crew? Nurdie J here, and today we are going to be taking a look at a new series of Nurdie J Presents. This time it is throughout the history of Transformers. It's going to be a multi-part series. And the thing is that these are Transformers that have not gotten any of in the current generation / potential Studio Series 86 lines. And this is essentially just going to be a big series. I got this recommendation from the YouTuber. He's somewhere on the screen. I'll post that. And it's from a subscriber that actually commented on one of my videos, and it was a really great idea. So I asked for permission. He never responded. So essentially, I'm still going to do it because it's a really good idea. But all the kudos to him for coming up with the idea. And so this episode is going to just be essentially honorable mentions, because in the comment box he wanted non G1 canon toys that got figures. However, I don't know where Generation 2 and Machine Wars fall into that, because some of them are repaints, some of them are like homages or just updated versions of the original toys. So that's why this is going to be a honorable mention list. And so essentially, without further ado, cue the intro. First up is going to be a couple of characters, actually, and that is of Cyberjet Air Raid and Cyberjet Skyjack. I would like to see these as a deluxe scale. They could probably be into a small Voyager, I would say. But the reason why I would say a deluxe, and I'm talking about regular deluxe, not like Cliff Jumper and Bumblebee and those smaller editions. This would just be a regular size deluxe. And the reason why I say that is because it would be a small jet that could get in and out, disappear, no one would notice, very stealthy because it is a stealth bomber mold. And I would just like to see it with modern interpretation of the articulation. I would love to still see it having the no face, or at least have the face mask come up and then down, maybe. Because I know it's like a couple of Jazz figures has done that, Hot Rod has done that, where the goggles would come down and then come back up. I would like to see that as a potential feature. And also, I would take away the missiles. You can still have the missiles in there, but maybe like fold them up in half or something so they can be double blasters in robot mode. And then, essentially for the wings, the wing missiles, just get rid of them. You only need that, and then figure out also how to transform the claw mechanism for the firing missile gimmick, and make that either an actual hand unit, or else make it transform so when it turns into the gun in jet mode, because that's pretty much how you're going to have it, is a gun or a missile on the top of the jet. Or just have it hide away in the body of the jet, just all of that. So, essentially, I would just like to see these guys again. Honestly, I miss these figures. I do have them all, but I would like to have modern interpretation of them. Next up, we're going over the pond into the UK territory. This can technically still, this is where I'm kind of like, still G1, but yeah, I consider it Generation 2 because it's post G1, but it's also pre-Generation 2. So the UK Transformers that aren't the Action Masters, which that was a Generation line, everything after the Action Masters that aren't reissues, so essentially the Alexanders, Pyro, those guys, they're all Generation 2, essentially for me. So with that, this one is a UK, but it's definitely a Generation 2, and that is Aqua Blast. Now, I'm not 100% sure of his affiliation, but Aqua Blast, I can see being a retool of, or being the initial mold technically, and being retooled into Drench, the American Drench. The thing is that I would just love to see a modern interpretation, a better weapon. Don't have to have that water blaster unit. And then you could probably, since you don't have the water blasting gimmick, you could probably make that into a double rifle situation that could combine into a spoiler. And so that's pretty much all I have to say on this one. The thing is that it's a really cool design, a bubble car. You don't see that many in Transformers all the time, and yeah, it would be an easy retool. We're going to the world of the GoBots, and I'm not talking about 1983 or the 2003 series, at least not in this video. This is GoBots Blowout. Now the thing is, I'm not a fan of the color choice, smoky clear. I have an issue with clear plastic and gold plastic and teal, apparently. I have issues with that because if it's any of those, they are fragile. Especially teal from like Generation 1, Generation 2. Yeah, they shatter almost just as bad as gold plastic. Now, clear plastic does have its limitations too, especially if it's a thinner piece or as a joint. I would like to see Blowout specifically in a more opaque color, maybe like a gunmetal. That might work, or like a dark gray. And then it would just be straight up repaint, maybe a retool into Megatron, the GoBot. The reason why I'm saying that is because they would have two different heads. And so, because Megatron just has Blowout's head, and it doesn't look a thing like Megatron. So that was just really shoehorned in during Generation 2, and I would like to see an update. I would also like to see this as a comeback to Core Class. And if they're going to pack it in G1, deluxe packaging, then make it 2 Core Classes. Get your bang for your buck. Have modern, as much articulation as you can. It's going to have a simple transformation. You know, these only have 3 steps? 4 if you include inserting the gun. But essentially still keep the transformation relatively the same, and then just add more articulation. Make it, instead of the play feature being the look at this, it could go on a Hot Wheels track. Make it as articulation, have it as much articulation as possible, and that could be your feature. That's what I would say. Because essentially having it as a deluxe class and seeing it as a potential Transformers Siege Sideswipe retool for all the GoBots, no. Just no. I would not be into that because even if you were to do these into Spy Changers, which Blowout just turns into Hot Shot and our Robots in Disguise 2001, the thing is that yeah, they're Spy Changers, and yeah, the cartoon of 2001, Robots in Disguise, has them as about the size of a deluxe, but everybody else is kind of bigger too in some cases, and it's animated, so it's not going to be represented well. So I'd say go based off the toy sizes and make them actual Spy Changers / GoBots. I didn't realize when I did Blowout that there's also another repaint that they could do, and that's Frenzy. Frenzy, I think, should be a red and black character, not this weird, magenta, maybe? I don't know, and gray. I say, homage the G1 character on this one, as this is the only character Frenzy has ever gotten in Generation 2, so I would definitely homage a little bit harder on the G1, but not give it the weird chest design in the car form. I would not do that. I would just hunt and peck the robot mode parts, definitely, to what parts could be black, what parts could be the red, and then the car mode could be black with or red with the opposite color of stripes. I know that's different than the actual toy because that's just straight up one color, but it would also add a little bit more. Another GoBot on the list will be Bumblebee. I don't know what his original pre-repaint was. I'm only going based off the pictures I'm currently seeing, so on my list is just Bumblebee, and I don't see the other one there. I think it might be High Beam, but I could be wrong. His high beam could be Sideswipe's repaint, but I'm not 100% sure which one that is. Anyway, I would like to see this Bumblebee, the same as the previous, just a core class, updated articulation as its play feature. Maybe even with these Transformers, make the gun transform into their alt mode too, like store, but not like make it an actual part of the alt mode. Make it store in the alt mode because there's plenty of room. They've done it with the retools of, or whatever, when RID, I'm just going to grab one off of my shelf. And so I'm just trying to find the one that has a gun. So essentially what they did with this one, this is Sideburn, and they just put it right here. And this gun right here, over here, they just put it in between the legs and it becomes like an extra exhaust. I would like to see something like that because there's a lot of space that they could work with too. And then essentially go for that neon yellow because the yellow kind of tended to skew to a weird like neon lime green. Just make it straight up yellow. Heck, you just make it the canary yellow that he's known for. And then Bumblebee could just be either canary yellow. So what I'm looking at here is that the gun, the legs, the head could all be straight up yellow or else the canary yellow. And then do the reversal for the alt mode to really hone in onto the Bumblebee instead of the gold bug look, because this Bumblebee is gold for some reason and not yellow. Another honorable mention, I guess, because I already covered this mold, for Bumblebee will be a BotCon exclusive character, the very first one, and that is the female Decepticon Night Racer. That's cool, you know. I would like to see a pure black version of the Bumblebee mold, GoBot's Bumblebee, and I would like to see her kind of have maybe more feminine kind of proportions compared to Bumblebee. I would like to maybe see the retool of her legs, maybe the arms within the kibble. You know, just try and make it a little bit more feminine. Maybe retool the head of Night Racer's original design to be a little more feminine. And definitely probably give her a different gun if possible. Back to the UK, we are going to look at Clinch, or Colossus. I'm going with Clinch for the name, because I don't like the Marvel character's name for this guy. The thing is that I would love to see an updated version of this guy, but I don't know what you would do with the shoulders. The shoulders are the front of the truck, granted, but they could just retool it or make it compress or something to make it more manageable when playing with it. Definitely needs leg articulation. And then with the trailer topper part, I would say keep it for the most part, like you did with Laser Prime. You kept that trailer pretty much when they made the Legacy version, and essentially just tool it to what you need. If it needs missiles, forget the missiles and put blast effects. And then the clear plastic I would make opaque. So if he's got like a targeting system, I would make that opaque targeting system because it would hide the detail on the one side where it wouldn't be facing him. But maybe do like a clear coat of paint on the other side so it kind of just makes it stand out. I don't know. I'm not a toy designer, so I don't know. To the Heroes line within Generation 2, Combat Hero Megatron. This could be either a pre-tool, but I wouldn't want that. I would want this to be maybe a Voyager at the highest level. Size class, like your standard Megatrons that you get now. I would not want this to be a G1 repaint from the G1 mold of Megatron. The thing is that the molds that you get currently for Generation 2 lines are just bad. They don't represent Megatron. Now with the Heroes Megatron, you would have to retool the air compression cushion thing. You would have to retool that, get rid of the hose. that's fine. You know, I don't need it to have that squishy orange thing, but still make it orange, but I don't need it to be squishy. And then give him 2 fusion cannons. If you're not going to give him the pointed missiles, give him 2 fusion cannons for each arm, and definitely give him better articulation and a clip underneath the chest, waist area, so that it just stays, the chest stays instead of flops about. This one would be practically an easy retool of a figure that's already out, but they have not announced or let us know that there's a potential of the Volvo Optimus Prime turning into Combat Hero Optimus from Generation 2. That like literally makes sense. It's got the truck mode. It's got the curved front. All you have to do is retool the legs so that instead of having the feet visible, just have it be able to like just have the truck as the feet, the top of the cab. And then you would give him like attachment missile launcher, and then give him a more G2 accurate gun. I don't know why they can't do that. It would cost the same amount. So, and then you would probably just make it also a generic looking truck. You wouldn't make it the Volvo of the truck, but you know, still keep most of that design philosophy that Generation 2 / the Volvo has. Just combine them. This one I can see as a retool and a repaint of the Mirage from Siege, or else from Kingdom. I think it was Kingdom, maybe it was Earthrise. I can't remember where the Mirage 2.0 mold comes from, but I would like to see that retooled, repainted, and I don't know if I would give him the same gun as Deluge actually has, but I would like to see it homaging, like combining the two, kinda. And so that's all you have to do is just repaint and then figure out maybe a different transformation for the arms or something. Because Mirage and Deluge look a lot alike, honestly. So yeah, you just have to figure out how to like rotate the the outer shoulder pads around so that, and then fold out a panel or something so you can have the 5 showing up. I think, you know, it can be done. This one's going to be pretty tricky, I would say. It's the Auto Roller Dirtbag. That can be recolored into Auto Stinger. But that's why I would put these guys definitely on the list of characters that need to be done, because since they're doing Transformers Beast Wars 2, this would be an easy repaint if they ever did decide to do Dirtbag. So with Dirtbag, I would not include the missiles. I would definitely give him more of a claw instead of the double flapper unit on the one arm. I would have like a molded in or maybe a slightly articulated underhand of the other arm instead of that just being a pure missile launcher. Definitely you would have to update the transformation into an actual transformation and give it articulation. The thing is with this, the size class, I would say Voyager. Hands down, Voyager, and not a small Voyager either. Because the Auto Rollers are supposed to be big, heavy machines. Back to the GoBots. This time we're doing Double Clutch, Mirage, and Mirage from 2001. Like I said, those are kind of just later videos, but right now it's just mainly just Double Clutch and Generation 2 Mirage. What I would like to see is a smaller gun for the character. This thing is bulky in design. So I got the Robots in Disguise edition. That to me is a little bit bulky for the character. Maybe you slim it down a bit. And if you hear ruffling right now, that is Shadow just messing around on the new review desk. So I got that set up, and now he's just messing around with everything. Sorry about that. So yeah, back to the highly articulated core class double pack type thing. I know I'm going to be repeating that a lot because there is quite a bit of GoBots, but at the same time, they need to be core class double packed if they're going to do a deluxe edition of the character and not the Sideswipe. Sorry. For the UK again, we're doing Fear Swoop. Fear Swoop could just be essentially a pre-tool for Machine Wars characters and Robots in Disguise if they decide to do toy only characters for Robots in Disguise. I can see this being a pre-tool, packed as a Voyager initially as Fierce Swoop because of his big cannon thing that he has, and then downgrade it to a deluxe and give it a rifle or whatever. Like I said, I'll explain during Machine Wars on that one. So Fierce Swoop is a really cool character that needs a better weapon, because the weapon he comes with is just on a single pod. Why? I understand he's holding it, but if that leg ever becomes loose, or if they add more hinges to the transformation, they're going to need it to be a tripod or something. But essentially, a highly articulated figure and a better transformation scheme. That's pretty much it. And make a smallish deluxe with the packing of his massive weapon. GoBots. Again, Firecracker and Optimus Prime. The thing is that Firecracker should be a bright, brilliant red. Opaque plastic. And then with Optimus Prime, you would turn that into like a deeper red, not maroon or anything like that, but more like, I don't know, maybe like just a pure red at that point. While the other one would be like a brighter red. I know it's a slight difference, but at the same time, you would also retool the head into Optimus Prime. This one, I really want to include it, but since this is an honorable mention episode, Generation 2 Optimus Prime. We have yet to get a Generation 2 Optimus Prime proper. And now with the Studio Series 86, they could probably strip it down a little, not give us roller, but instead give us that backpack that he's supposed to have. Actually have it attached well to Optimus Prime. Instead of giving us the G1 weaponry loadout, give him the 2 blasters that he's supposed to come with. And instead of the missiles, give him the blast effects. I think he already comes with blast effects. And then, yeah, it's just pretty much just a repaint, and maybe make the red more deeper red. Like, I don't know the color. It's not like, I instantly, when I say deeper red, I want to go maroon, but this is more of a crimson red, maybe. And then make his legs like a dark royal blue. Because as you can see on the figure, he's supposed to have a deeper blue than the original G1, where that's more of just a royal blue or straight up blue. This one is like a dark blue. And then with the trailer, I would not want it to say Optimus Prime. I would like to have it just a red stripe, like it's supposed to. And then instead of the Autobot insignia, like right in the corner of the trailer, like what I'm seeing is like when it swoops up, and at the top is where the Autobot insignia is. Replace the Optimus Prime thing, and where it usually is a normal Autobot insignia, just put the new one on there and make sure it's the Generation 2 insignia. I think you got a winner there. So the gearhead mold. Pretty much, what can I say? Just, you know, you would have to retool all these cars using the same transformation design for the GoBots. Use the same transformation scheme, but just retool the car so it's a different alt mode. And then, yeah, just repaint it into Soundwave's Generation 2 and retool the head to be maybe not G1 Soundwave, but essentially retool the head to be kind of like an homage of Prime Soundwave. And why I say that is because Prime Soundwave has the Generation 2 face. I would like to see that come back, but make that Generation 2 face that Prime Soundwave has, but then you'll homage that back into G1 a bit. This one I would love to see as an updated figure. I love this original toy, but it is on the fragile side. And that is the Generation 2 Aqua Blast or Color Change, something like that, GoBots. Now you would probably have to give them the UK name, potentially, and then maybe shift the color from a straight up orange to more of a in-between color for the UK and the American one. Because I think the UK is more of like a magenta or like a reddish color, while this is orange, so probably just kind of blend the two and give it the UK name. I'd be fine with that. And essentially, I would change the top cannon idea that he has. Maybe, you know, give him something equivalent to what the Cliff Jumper had, where it was like different parts of I guess it was the ski car mode that he had, and then it could all combine into a massive cannon. Next up is more cyberjets. This time it's Hooligan, Jetfire, and potentially a Rajiji from Robot Masters. Now, yes, more articulation, definitely have that wing folding capability still intact, and essentially, yeah, I know Hooligan is like really weird design, but maybe you could just play into the orange a little more. I don't know how you would do that, but give him different tones of orange like he does here. But also, instead of the tiger stripes, give him a camo look. Like, maybe make it like red and whatever camo. So if he ever flies into the sun, I know that's kind of a stupid idea, but if he's in the desert, flies in the sun or something, he can hide a little bit. The thing is that this one I would like to see as a small Voyager for two reasons. Jetfire is supposed to be a big character to begin with, and essentially you can add more of the features, like the more articulation, more better transformation schemes. You can also include like the wing up and down gimmicks, and you can figure out what to do with how to compress like the back wings and stuff. And so that's why I would say it's a Voyager, a small Voyager, and then you could just repaint Hooligan into Jetfire from Generation 2 for the fans that like that. Or my personal opinion, preference would be Rajiji. I think that's what he's called. But it's the G1 Jetfire colored version of the Generation 2 toy. And then I would probably try and retool the head to homage the Generation 1 character. But you would still include the Generation 2. So you would have the G1 visor, but you would connect it to be more around the mouth too, like the Generation 2 design for the Cyberjets. But then you could probably like lift it up and it'd be whatever character at that point. I don't care. I would just like to see a lot of features in this toy because it's one of my favorites. This character, Iron Fist, has been homaged in Generations. Ooh, back when the Ruined Nation Combiner came out. Now that's for the video game toy line during that version of Generations. This I would like to see just updated. And, you know, still keep the Humvee mode. Maybe make the weapons, since it looks like two separate weapons that have just been smushed together, make them either smushed together with two different tripod units, or else and then you could separate them. And then you could have the rifle and a rocket launcher. So that's how I would see it. And then you could just retool it into the, I don't remember where this came out in, but it was the Power Master 2 Ironhide. You could just recolor him into that. I know it wouldn't look much like G2 Ironhide, but at the same time, that design needs a better update. Because that original toy was not good. And so essentially I would like to see that, and then you could just, instead of giving them the rocket launcher unit, just mirror the not cannon, but the rifle unit. And so you would be able to combine the two into like a massive cannon, massive rifle unit, I guess. And then, or else he could use it as two weapons like his original form did. GoBot's Ironhide and Motormouth. I would like to see them. I don't know how you would do this, but I would like to see the chest unit be smaller, the arms be able to not only just come out from the sides or however it transforms, but like there's actual like elbow articulation and the arms are lengthened. Because as the toy stands now, it's very unbalanced, and on top of that, the arms are insanely stubby. Part that they are stubby, and also because that chest is just like barrel chest, but it's like not in a good way, like Prowl. And I would like to see Ironhide have more of a G1 Ironhide retool look, and then Motormouth could be the same, and then just give it the cowl, the white cowl with black spots motif, and just recolor it into Ironhide from Robots in Disguise. Power Dive. I would love to see this guy being an updated retool. If you take the one of the previous videos that I did that needed updated characters designs, and take the Spinister mold of the updated design idea, and I don't want it to look exactly like Power Dive in robot mode, but they do have a very similar alt mode, and essentially you would just give him that, and instead of the dual guns that he's supposed to have that represents the target masters, you give him essentially a rotor blade that doesn't rotate, but you can just set on top of the propellers, or else you can just give him a rotor unit that can just separate. And essentially, that's all you need. He'd be a melee attacker. Pyro. Pyro is a transformer I would love to have. Now, they did technically updated him, kind of, sort of, with a BotCon edition of the Generation 2 Inferno that came out during Universe 2.0. And then they just kind of just repainted him into Pyro. But Pyro, I would say, its alt mode is more similar, I would say. I'm not 100% sure because I'm looking at like a microscopic picture currently. But it's more akin to like Sentinel Prime from the movieverse, or Hotspot from, what's it called? Combiner Wars. I say that would be a better alt mode design. It would give a variety to the fire truck. Or do Optimus Prime from Robots in Disguise kind of fire truck too. That would work too. Anyway, and get rid of the gold plastic. Just get rid of it. Like, the feet don't need it, the legs don't need it. What you could do is just make it all in one color or two colors, because there is black in there. And then just use paint. Paint the legs, paint the feet if you feel like it. Or use the honey mustard plastic, which I'm a huge fan of because it doesn't break at a moment's notice. Sure, it might not be gold accurate, but it gives you the idea anyway. Roadblock. Roadblock, I would love to maybe give him like a rotating hand unit. So he can have a hand that, or a claw or something like that, that would rotate into the arm, and then you could just add a blast effect to the other side to represent the cannon, and then maybe make another hand unit underneath the saw blade, or just make the saw blade detachable, and give it tons of articulation, or more articulation. It's going to be a Voyager class, and just like repaint it, I think, into a straight up green instead of the Constructicon green, just straight up like a lime green or something. And you would have Auto Crusher or Crasher, something like that. And yeah, you just don't need the missiles at all. And because those missiles just fall off at a moment's notice, because the pegs are tiny and they don't friction very well. 2-pack time, and this has been a 2-pack ever since day one. And that would be a combination of Dreadwind and Smokescreen. Yeah, Dreadwind would need to be like maybe a leader, potentially, maybe a small leader, just to cover the tank mode, and also you would have to improve that tank mode. The stealth bomber, I think, is kind of similar to a B2 almost, with a massive like cannon on the bottom. I would retool it so he could form his own jet if necessary, if you happen to lose Smoke Jumper, or else combine it in a way that Smoke Jumper is securely in, but then the wings don't pop up, don't have that spring mechanism in there. And then for Smoke Jumper, sorry, I keep on saying Smoke Jumper, it's Smoke Screen in Generation 2. Smoke Jumper is for the Robots in Disguise edition. Smoke Screen, I would like to see pretty much being a pre-tool, make it his own character, and make it a deluxe size, pre-tool it into the, essentially have it as the pre-tool for Energon Starscream. It's already got the same transformation scheme, and then all you have to do is reshell it pretty much. And yeah, I would like to see that. The two cannons, I would like to see it arm mountable better than the original version, because it kind of just pegged, kind of pseudo-pegged clipped in, because it was like, it was one of the sights that would get pegged into the elbow. That was really weird. I would like to see it more arm mounted or shoulder mounted, so they would just hang off kind of like as a cape or something. And I would definitely improve the legs, because the legs turn into a cowboy stance for some reason. then you can just retool if you need to, but I don't think so. But repaint definitely into the BB and Starscream from Beast Wars 2. And then if you are continuing the idea of Robots in Disguise Toy Edition of the line, Dreadwing and or Dreadwind, something like that, and Smoke Jumper, and then retool both of them, their heads at the very least, to Megatron and Starscream from Generation 2 that never came out in America, and I think had limited release in UK or in Canada, maybe. Yeah, I would definitely do that. There's a lot of potential there. Rounding off the Generation 2 is Space Case and Strafe, the final set of Cyberjets. The reason why I'm including all the Cyberjets is they're all unique molds, they're all really cool, and I think they deserve it. This one would probably be another deluxe. Maybe, I don't know, I'd probably say a small Voyager, if not regular deluxe, somewhere in there. Or like a deluxe plus, where it's essentially a smaller deluxe, but it has a lot more features or something to it. So essentially, Space Case is the one I would prefer to come out, but Strafe is the repaint. I would correct on Strafe the Decepticon insignia, because it's supposed to be an Autobot insignia. Because I think early in the production, Space Case was supposed to be colored like Strafe. Or Strafe was supposed to be a Decepticon. But I just really like the G.I. Joe homage of Space Case. Maybe lean into that design a little bit more instead of having that weird bird design. I don't remember any of the G.I. Joe jets that had the grid pattern having that design. But maybe homage a little more of that kind of look for Space Case on the jet mode. Because I think you should have that option of essentially looking like, have a really cool design on the jet mode, but barely visible in robot mode. Because I kind of like the stark white and then the red look to them. I prefer the robot mode to the other mode. And maybe have hinges, rotational hinges on the wings, so if you don't like the futuristic jet look, you can have it more traditional, maybe. Moving on from Generation 2 to Machine Wars. And we are going to start off with Megatron and Megaplex. This would be where you would reduce what happened with Fear Swoop, and you would just repaint them, because he is going to be a Deluxe Plus Fear Swoop would. Deluxe Plus, so a small Voyager or whatever you want to call it. And you just take away the massive cannon weapon thing that Fear Swoop has, retool it to be Megatron, essentially, and then repaint it and then give it a smaller weapon. That's all you have to do. I know that sounds a lot. It probably is, but it would probably be at a deluxe price point at that point. Yeah, I think that would be a really cool design. Maybe homage the reversal idea of what the toys actually became, because I think Megaplex is supposed to be Megatron because he's gray, and then Megatron is actually is blue instead of being the Megaplex's colors of being blue. So essentially take the names and switch them around. That's all you have to do. But maybe make them look more like each other, more than just the character designs. Maybe, instead of, combine the ideas of the color schemes. Like, the Megatron has the black stripes, and then maybe a silver stripe going on its back wings. And then with Megaplex, make that with blue stripes with the white. Both make them silver too, so they can be more of a clone of one another. Both make them silver. Megatron would definitely have the silver arms. He would pretty much be entirely silver. Maybe instead of silver, use red for some of the upper arms or whatever, and then just repaint it over silver. And then Megaplex would be the blue with the teal color. That's how I would see it. Mirage and Prowl. So, Mirage and Prowl, I would not use the Mirage mold. I'd probably upgrade the core class Mirage from GoBots or something. Just use a different mold in general. And you would not give them the names on their spoilers, because honestly, I don't know why they were possessed to do that. Instead, maybe like homage, like for Prowl, more of a pool logo or something. I don't know why he's got an 8-ball, or else make it more of a magic 8-ball kind of thing. Mirage, I don't know what. I think he's supposed to just be generic, honestly, because yeah, he's got the circle on his 7, but it's not like a pool ball like the 8 on Prowl. So I don't know. It's like I would probably like make that silver spoiler instead of the colored spoiler. I don't know. But yeah, higher articulation, get rid of the spring-loaded gimmick, and I don't want the 2-piece gun. If the gun has to go into its alt mode, like within the legs or something, I want it to collapse. Like, have a hinge on it or something. That's where I want those guns to be. Optimus Prime / Thundertron. I don't know why I didn't include Thundertron in the Generation 2, but Optimus Prime, I would like to just see an updated on him. The thing is that his robot mode, definitely his arm back panels would transform into the arms, I would say, kind of like maybe Classics Prime did. Something to that similar. But Thundertron, get rid of the gold. Yeah, honestly, I would just like to see this as an updated Thundertron / Optimus. Skywarp and Thundercracker. I don't know if there's a current tool that you could use for them, but yeah, like Prowl and Mirage, get rid of the flip change gimmick, hinge the weapon, and maybe like, besides articulation, I would like to see like something special, especially with Skywarp. Skywarp is very bare in his jet mode. Maybe add some purple to it as well as that red. I don't know, it's just like, or maybe make the red more of a fire design instead of just blotchy squares. It just really looks bad in my opinion. He doesn't get any color until clear in the back. Thundercracker, however, honestly, I don't like the brown. I think the brown just makes the character look bad. I don't know what you could change it up into for color-wise. That brownish maroon, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you could change it into, but yeah, he just, like, he's a jungle warrior, essentially, because he's green and brown. So, figure out the new color of his shoulders and head and legs. I think it'd be good. Repaint them into their, who was it, Skyfire? From Robots in Disguise, and call it a day. And to conclude this list is going to be Soundwave / Stalker, I want to say, is the G2 variant. Just like with any UK G2, get rid of the gold plastic. Definitely get rid of that gold plastic. Honey mustard, or just paint over it into gold. I would also like to see for Soundwave, what I would like to see is a more Soundwave-esque head, because it slightly looks like him, but I would like to see more of a head that's more of a G1 head. And then maybe have the nose cone of the rocket split off, so like the rocket and in the middle would just come off, and then you would be able to rotate the rocket around or something, and that could be on this shoulder with the satellite on this shoulder, to represent the G1 Soundwave, and then use the rocket and have a flip down handle or something, and have that kind of homaging the Generation 1 toy too. Because there, like, since this is based off of Stalker, there is no G1 Soundwave in there. So that's how I would like to see them. And then Stalker would have the same features, just with the Stalker head. And you don't really need to combine them. And then you would have the optional square round gun. It's really weird looking. I want to thank you all for joining me on this honorable mention list. Like I said, it was a great thanks and a great idea that the person let me know about this. And I really wanted to do it, and it's going to be kind of like this pet project for me. I'm not really worried too much about the views here, but if you did watch it, please let me know what characters that I missed, and maybe we could do another list for Generation 2 and Machine Wars potentially. But I think I covered with all the videos. I think I covered all the Machine Wars. I might have missed out on Sandstorm, but I'm not 100% sure. But if I know there's a lot more Generation 2 characters, and then maybe I could tack on at the end if this gets enough views on all of them that I'm going to be coming out with. If there's enough views, I might tack on like Generation 1's characters like from America, UK, Japan that we never gotten yet and we desperately need. Maybe we could tack that on at the end like as a bonus video. So you might not have to comment. I would love the comments, don't get me wrong. I would love the likes, I would love the subscriptions. But I'm mainly going to focus for this video series currently just the views. And if you comment, I will try my best to get back to you as soon as I can. It might take up to 3 days. Sometimes it does. But I will respond to any and all comments and then, go from there. Like I said, if you want the tacked on video at the end of the Generation 1 toys, or just make that a separate series, which I can do because there's like a lot of characters that haven't been done still for Generation 1. Then essentially, just please view it and share it and tell people about this. I've been Nurdie J for Nurdie Boys. I'll catch you next time.